very welcome to St Tiernix Park in Clonus. It's Tyrone against Cavan, and right away I'm going to give you some team news. Well, it's sub news really. There's two changes in the Tyrone subs. That's the Tyrone squad out there warming up, doing their shots on goal, and I can tell you that number 18 Gráinne McKenna is out and number 22 Aoife McConnell is out. They've been replaced by Ellie McNamee at 18 and Rachel Holland from Strabane will wear 22. But no changes in the starting 15 for either team. Elsewhere, I can tell you big news in the junior championship, because Limerick and Wicklow started their semi-final quite some time ago, and they've just gone into the second half, and Clodagh Fox has just scored a very important goal. So that means Wicklow are 162 points up against Limerick and very much headed for the All-Ireland Junior Final on the 5th of September.
And for those of you sitting in the stands, can we just remind you to please wear a mask and stay 2 metres apart.
So join me for that, but Wicklow look like they've booked their place there. So the Cavan team are out in the middle of the pitch while Tyrone are still doing their shooting in drills. The Cavan team is out in a huddle, and they are getting ready for the start, and I think it's fair to say that they are favourites for this game. They beat Tyrone a few months ago on the 30th of May quite handsomely, and I'll come to that with a few more details in a minute or two, but I better get to the teams because the anthem is coming up. So let's go to the Cavan team first. And the Cavan team in goals: Elaine Walsh, number 2 Rachel Doonan, 3 Shauna Lynch, Murren Smith, Sinead Green, 6 is the captain Laura Fitzpatrick, 7 is Mona Sheridan, one of 3 sisters on the team, and at midfield it's Sinead McKenna, who's the only change from the previous game. She's in for Catherine Dolan, and Nessa Bird is in at number 9. In the forwards for Cavan, it's Aoibhinn Kiernan, Lauren McVitie, who scored 2 goals against Tyrone and Omagh the last time they met, and Niamh Keenahan is at 12. And then you've Geraldine Sheridan, Aisling Sheridan, and it's Aisling Gilson at 15. Let's move on to the Tyrone team, and in goals here another change, because Tyrone are now on their 3rd goalkeeper in the senior championship. Katie Byrne is in today, Megan Kerr is at number 2, Tori McLaughlin the captain at 3, Joanne Barrett 4, Jane Lyons 5, 6 Niamh Woods, 7 Niamh Hughes. A lot of Niamhs and a lot of Emmas actually. 2 Emmas at midfield, Emma Brennan number 8, Emma Jane Gervin 9, Emma Hegarty is at 11, and the other forwards, Dervla Gallagher 10, she can sort of play half back or half forward around that area, and Aoibhinn McHugh at 12, though again she can play around the middle of the field, so I'm not sure if she'll stick to that position or she will probably rove into the middle of the field. And the full forward line, they usually play 2, but today they don't have Chloe McCaffrey. They have Gráinne Rafferty at full forward, they've Sasha Byrne, and they've Niamh O'Neill of course, but no Chloe McCaffrey. Now we'll pause for the anthem. So Saturday afternoon in Clonus, number 2 is Megan Kerr of Tyrone, the cornerback. She's an interesting case because she's playing cornerback for Tyrone today. Tomorrow she's playing in the All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie Championship for Derry. So a different code of red and white. She's going to the white and red today, red and white tomorrow, and she will be playing for Derry against Meath and in a scheme. So a busy weekend for Megan. Both teams nearly ready then. The last time they met, I did tell you I'd come back to that. In Omagh, Cavan 4-11, Tyrone 2-10 was the score that day. So lots of goals, and Cavan have lost 4 since then after winning 3 in the league, but they haven't been far away, and they really should have beaten Monaghan the last day. They got caught with a goal at the end, so they're games have been a little bit closer than Tyrone, certainly against Waterford the last day and against Dublin eventually before that. And Cavan did win 3 in the league, whereas Tyrone have lost 6 out of 7 games this year, including in the Ulster Championship. The only team they've beaten is Wexford right at the end of the league. So on form, you would expect Cavan to be favourites today. It is a relegation playoff, but there is another playoff after this. So the losers from today will play Tipperary in the last of the playoffs, and the loser from that will go down. So this is second last chance saloon, if you like, as Siobhan Coyle from Donegal throws the ball in for the start of the game. And it looks like 8 and 9's around the middle of the field. Whether it stays that way, I'm not so sure. Here's the captain of Cavan, that's Fitzpatrick, and that's a nice ball down into the forwards. They'll always appreciate a ball early on, but you see there the way the ball skidded off the surface. Now the grass is quite long out there, and it's stopped raining, but we had a lot of rain in the last couple of hours here. The pitch has taken it very well, but players will have to be careful that they don't drop the ball too much, and Tyrone are abiding by that right now. And there's a super crossfield ball from Emma Jane Gervin, and that has gone to Avine McHugh. That's a super pass after all the short passing. This is excellent from Tyrone, but the challenge coming in there from Mona Sheridan, and the referee says that is an illegal challenge, and Tyrone will be rewarded for that nice football with a free and a chance for the first score of the game. Perfect for a left footer. She gets good height on it, but it's gone to the left and wide, and that's Niamh O'Neill. Unlike her, she's usually very accurate. Scored 9 points against the All-Ireland champions Dublin recently. Kickouts will be important, as they always are, and that one has gone right over the sideline, so it's a Tyrone ball. Emma Hegarty takes it. This is Gallagher and gives it to Brennan, and Brennan speeds off through the middle of the Cavan defence and looking to lay it off to O'Neill, the shooter, of course, and that's perfect football from Tyrone. A lovely move from the sideline ball all the way through, perfectly executed, and good running from the midfielder Brennan, and she knew that O'Neill was the finisher, and she finished. This is Niamh Hughes for Tyrone, again showing good speed. But, oh, actually, it was a lovely pass. I thought she was dispossessed, but it was actually a really clever hand pass. Didn't end up in a score, but a bright start by Tyrone. They are certainly capable of this kind of football, although they haven't shown it too much this year. As I say, they've lost 6 games out of 7 this year, but they do have the ability. And the Cavan midfielder, Nessa Bird, has gone down. She took a bit of a knock there. She has got a free, but she's also taking a knock and looks to be in a bit of pain. Nessa from Crossharlock, and she takes penalties, but so does Lauren McVitie. In fact, she scored a penalty against Tyrone in the last game between them. So if there's a penalty, it'll be interesting to see who takes it. That's great work again by Emma Hegarty for Tyrone, trying to intercept. Now she's hurt herself, I think there. That might be an ankle problem she's gone down with. She seemed to go over on the ball. That looked painful. But certainly good commitment by Tyrone early on, and Cavan really haven't got out of their own half apart from the first 10-15 seconds of the game. And as I say, the conditions are greasy, and I wonder if that contributed to Hegarty from Donoghmore losing her footing there and being in a little bit of pain. She's okay, thankfully, walking a little bit gingerly. She's going to try and run it off as Cavan get on with it, but Gilsonan unable to take the ball there, and it falls kindly for Tyrone. And this is again good determined play from Tyrone, and it's Gallagher who gets her free. She is a dynamic player. When she gets the ball, she sets off, and that's already caused a few problems for Cavan. So Tyrone making the better start. And this is McHugh way over on the hillside. And she's battling her way through. I thought she might go out to midfield, but she's doing really well as a right half forward, playing really well, and she has drawn another free. She drew the previous one, and that's 2, so she is causing a lot of problems out there. Now she's got a little bit of pain for her efforts, but Cavan from Ahiyarn has made a good start on the right side of the Tyrone attack, and this will give another chance for O'Neill. She missed the last one, but she scored one from play, and you would never bet against her, that's for sure. Again, lots of height, but again it goes to the left and wide. So, as I said, uncharacteristic of Niamh O'Neill to miss 2 frees off her left from the right early on. And Tyrone again showing good commitment and tenacity in the challenge there, getting a boot in to win that. Emma Jane Girvan, a bit like, was it Jeremy O'Connor for Mayo last week, getting an outstretched boot to the ball that turned out in a free for Mayo. This is the Cavan captain, Laura Fitzpatrick from St Finbarr's, joining the attack, trying to get them going. She gives it to Aisling Sheridan, and she gives it to her sister Mona, and she gives it back. And will this be a Sheridan finish? She has to turn back, goes on her right foot and shoots. Oh, and it's blocked and just spins off the greasy surface wide. And that looked like a goal was on, but Tyrone somehow survived. And one of the defenders got a hand to it. I'm not quite sure which one it is, but it looked like they just got through there, Cavan. It seemed like it opened up for them. But good defending, and Tyrone really are sharp today. And that shot goes low, and I was just thinking, why have they only 2 players in the goals? And Cavan have capitalised, and that certainly is a fabulous start for Aisling Gilson. And she must have just taken the opportunity. She saw, well, there's only 2 there, I'll go for it. And she put it in the net, and that's a little bit naive and certainly disorganised by Tyrone there to let that happen. There could be another goal here for Cavan, because that's a fine ball in behind, and it looked like Geraldine Sheridan was going to get there, but it was really well defended. Actually, I think it might have been Megan Kerr who was back there, the number 2. She did really well there. Now that's livened things up a little bit. Tyrone going for an equaliser at the other end. This is Gráinne Rafferty, and she shoots right-footed, but that doesn't have the legs on it. And Cavan, after conceding a point, and really they should have been 3 points down. O'Neill missed 2 frees, 1 point down. They have now got a goal, so a goal to a point for Cavan. And Sinead Green now on a 1-2 and speeding down the wing, and gets past the challenge of Hughes, gets it into Geraldine Sheridan. Good ball by Sheridan, and again the Tyrone defence has parted. And the shot came in from Sheridan, and it was saved by Katie Byrne, but really that could have went anywhere, but Katie Byrne did well. It's a goal to a point, and it could have been 2 goals there. And that will be a concern for the Tyrone manager, Kevin McChrystal. There was a high ball over the top. There was a goal from a 14-yard free, and there could have been another, and it looks like they need to get a few more players organised to get back there to protect the goal, because the Sheridans are dangerous, and they will score given a few of those chances, and so will Lauren McVitie. That's her point. She got 2 goals against Tyrone in Omagh in the league game, and she gets the first point for Cavan today, and that's now Cavan 1-1 and Tyrone 1 point. And for all Tyrone's great efforts in the first 9 minutes or so of this game, they find themselves trailing. Katie Byrne from Ahiyarn with the kick out, and that looks like a good one, and it's gone as far as Hegarty, who does well to get out in front of the Cavan captain and gets her free. McLaughlin, the Tyrone captain, pretends to give it back, but instead gives it to Emma Jane Girvan, and she spreads the play out to Joanne Barrett from the Drumragh club, and she has her clubmate Niamh Woods just inside her if she needs her, and she gives it to her. This is McHugh, and off she goes again. Another run from the Ahiyarn girl there, and leaves it off to O'Neill. Comes back to Rafferty. Tyrone rocked by that goal, but trying to get their act together now, and Cavan just sitting in. This is Niamh Hughes, and she has support there. Good run by Emma Brennan, gives it back to Hughes, and she shoots right-footed from the left. and expertly puts it over off the outside of her boot, and that's Tyrone's second score of the day. Tyrone must be wondering why they are 2 points down, because they've played really well, played a lot of good approach football, and find themselves 2 points down because of one lapse of concentration for a goal from a 14-yard free. Cavan, though, finding a lot of spaces, and their key players are getting possession rather easily, and that was rather straightforward for Aisling Gilsonan to pick up the ball, not under lots of pressure, and put it over the bar quite comfortably, and that's Cavan 1-2, Tyrone 2 points. And maybe it was because Joanne Barrett looks to be walking a little bit gingerly. She doesn't seem to be moving too well, and maybe that's why Tyrone are warming up number 17, Emma Mulgrew from Kalisha. And there's a pretty obvious foul on Niamh Woods by Sinead McKenna from Crosserlock, and the referee takes that right away. Tyrone restart, and this is Cavan to the busy Niamh Hughes. She's obviously enjoying attacking from wing back. She's got a point already. Grania Rafferty. That's a fine ball by Cavan, spreading the play accurately to McHugh, and this is Brennan. And Brennan shoots and gets it inside the post. That's good football again by Tyrone. They're playing really nice football when they go forward. In the junior championship, I'm just keeping an eye on the game here actually, because that's Murren Smith picking it up from the kick out, and Tyrone were pressing, but she managed to hold on to it, and Shauna Lynch has done well, and Cavan intent on playing the ball through the hands out of defence. That's Rachel Doonan, the whole full back line involved for Cavan, and they get their free in the end. The junior championship, Wicklow were in charge at the water break in the second half. They started earlier. Wicklow 1-9, and it's Limerick 3 points. And this is interesting. The referee, Siobhan Coyle, has spotted a little bit of holding, and I presume that was by Jane Lyons. Substitute for Tyrone.
Substitution on the Tyrone team. Number 17, Emma Mulgrew, replaces number 2, Megan Kerr. Number 17 for 2 on the Tyrone team.
It's actually, Megan's actually wearing the number 4 jersey there, and the announcement was for number 2. They must have got them mixed up there, but Cavan go on the attack and they put it wide. Yeah, so that's what I was referring to a few minutes ago when Cavan had that rather straightforward score, that the number 4 seemed to be not moving too well, and she has come off. It's not Megan Kerr, as they said in the announcement. It's not number 2. It's Joanne Barrett. It's number 4, just to be clear. Megan Kerr still on the pitch. Joanne Barrett has come off, but Tyrone have forced into a change early on. This is Niamh Keenahan doing well for Cavan, and then sending it across to the opposite side of the attack to Gilsonan, and she's already found the target, and the challenge goes in there from Niamh Hughes, and the Cavan subs in front of me thought that was a free, but the referee says no. This is Gallagher doing really well under pressure and moving the ball quickly from the free as well, not hanging around. That's what you like to see. The referee taking note of it and giving the free as well, but look at this from McHugh with a hand up immediately to fend off the defenders, and the referee will give her a free. There must have been a foul on her somewhere in there, and McHugh has been excellent so far. And Tyrone actually have been really good, yet they are behind by 2 points. But maybe they'll steady the ship a little bit now that their injured player has come off. And Tyrone are actually warming up another player as that goes over the bar from Niamh O'Neill. She finds her range. Tyrone looked like they might have to make a change, because 21, Nicola Rafferty from Eden Dork, is warming up, and number 11, Emma Hegarty, You might remember a few minutes ago that she went over on her ankle, and she is definitely coming off. She's just down in front of us here, and she looks disappointed. So two Tyrone changes early on. Cavan steaming forward again. Geraldine Sheridan, and that drops just over the bar. And Cavan, when they do attack, are getting their scores rather easily.
Substitution on the Tyrone team, number 21, Nicola Rafferty, replaces number 11, Emma Hegarty. Number 21 for 11 on the Tyrone team.
So Tyrone having no luck in the first 14 minutes of this game. They've conceded a soft goal, and they've had to replace 2 players because of injury. That's well taken by Kiernan for Cavan. Good defending though by Kerr to make sure she doesn't get clean possession, and that still results in a Cavan ball though, because this is Keenahan trying to get on her favourite left foot, but good blocking there. That was good defending by Tori McLaughlin in there with Kerr. Goalkeeper Byrne comes out, and good tenacious defending twice there by Tyrone. So they're getting on with it. This is their captain leading from the front. She gives it to McHugh, a little bit deeper this time than she has been when she's been getting the ball, but she still sets off, and that could be a really, really good ball. In fact, it is a smashing ball. 2 Tyrone players go for it. O'Neill is there, but she inadvertently brings it into the hands of Green, and Cavan are able to clear. But McHugh is causing lots of problems for Cavan down the right hand side. But this is where Cavan profit. Look at the room they get here again when they attack. Keenahan, and she tries to get past Hughes, who again is marking closely and this time is penalised. Interesting that Tyrone definitely not going with a sweeper, going woman to woman, and there does seem to be a lot of room when Cavan go forward. They have great forwards, and they've scored 2 points already from play and the goal, of course. Excellent strike by Gilsonen from some distance, well outside the D. She scored 3 points against Mayo recently, 2 of them from frees. And she's on target again today. And at the water break, as the water falls down from the sky as well, it's Cavan 1-3, Tyrone 4 points. Cavan 2 points up, and I'd say they'll be a little bit grateful for that, because they haven't played fantastically well, and Tyrone have played the better football, and Tyrone have been rocked by 2 injuries. They've had to replace 2 players, and the crucial moment, of course, was the goal. 14-yard free, where you would expect at least 3 players on the line. Tyrone only had 2, the goalkeeper and 1 other. And credit to the Cavan forward, who saw what was going on and thought, I'll have a go for goal here, and she got her goal. Elsewhere in the All-Ireland Junior Football Championship, sponsored of course by TG4, it's Wicklow 112 and Limerick just 3 points. So Wicklow very much in charge there, and they are heading for the final on the 5th of September. As we expected, and Wicklow will play either Antrim or Carlow, who are meeting tomorrow in Lanlear. I'll be on commentary for that one, so please join me for that if you can. Just to give you more background on today, the first relegation playoff was last week in Mallow, and Kerry beat Tipperary, so Tipperary have dropped into the next playoff, and they will play the losers of this game today. So Tipperary next week, August 28th, will play the losers of this game, and the loser of that will go down. They will lose their senior championship status. Good kick out by Byrne, plenty of height on it, and it drops kindly as well. I think that's Niamh Woods over there, who read it best and has sped off now on a really good run at the heart of the Cavan defence and slips it to Rafferty. This is McHugh, and this is what I mean about Tyrone. They're playing really good football, and they don't really deserve to be this far behind on the scoreboard, but is that going to cut things down? No, it's not. It's gone to the left. It remains a 2-point game. So they met back in May in Omagh when Cavan won 4-11 to 2-10. But I did look back, and these teams, strangely enough, have not met in the championship for at least 10 years. There were times when one was in intermediate and the other was in senior, but they haven't met in the championship at all. So this is the first championship meeting in at least 10, 11 years between these counties, which is a little bit strange when you consider that they are quite even in ability most of the time. They will have met in Ulster, of course, but not in the All-Ireland Championship. O'Neill penalised there. Tricky conditions for the players. The grass is quite long, and they had a lot of rain this morning here in Clones, and the rain came down there a few minutes ago as well, so very greasy conditions. Cavan definitely dropped more defenders back to when Tyrone are on the attack, and Tyrone, as you see, are woman for woman. There's no sweeper in there, and there's lots of room, and Cavan are profiting from that, and there's a chance here of a score, and she shoots straight to the net, and Cavan certainly did profit. Oh, it's another blow for Tyrone. That's the second one, the second sucker punch for them, and it means 2, 3 to 4 points. And of course it's Aisling Sheridan. She does it for Collingwood. She does it for Cavan. She scored a goal against Tyrone back in May, and she's got another one today, and Tyrone will be concerned about the ease of which Cavan have got their 2 goals today. That was all a little bit too easy. And for all Tyrone's good work, they find themselves now 5 points down. It's well taken by Sheridan, and on her right foot she finds the target this time as well, and that's a point for Cavan, and they now make it a 6-point game. Actually, I thought the umpire was reaching to wave his flag, but I don't think he did in the end, so it must have gone wide. So it's 2, 3 to 4. It's a 5-point game, sorry. Byrne, the goalkeeper, with plenty of height again from the kick out, but it's well won by Keenahan for Cavan, and she gets her free immediately and is rewarded for a good bit of high fielding, and plays a lovely low ball into Sheridan, and Geraldine is closely marked in there but keeps possession. Is now blown for overcarrying. Credit to the defender there, Megan Kerr. Niamh Hughes. They come back for the free, and that's the one of the 2 subs who's come in. That's Nicola Rafferty. Gives it to Hughes. It's a good low ball. Sasha Byrne was there to give it to McHugh, her clubmate at Ahiarn. This is O'Neill now trying to get on her favourite left foot. Cavan very aware of that threat. And she dummies, tries to come inside, but look at the amount of jerseys there. It doesn't matter, you know. She puts it over. What a player Niamh O'Neill is. 9 points against Dublin. And that's what she can do. 5 or 6 blue jerseys didn't stop her. She actually scored 3 goals against Wexford at the end of the league as well, and she scored a smashing goal against Cavan in the game when they met in the league a few months ago. Took on the defence that day as well, and you could tell they were being careful not to foul her, and all she needed was a little bit of room. Showed a few tricks, put it over the bar. So 2, 3 to 5 points. It's a 4-point game. Tyrone definitely not out of it, but they need to cut out those goals at the back. Good approach work again by Tyrone. This is Nicola Rafferty from Edendork. Close attention in there. Too close. 2 Raffertys on the field for Tyrone. Gráinne Rafferty from Killishall and Nicola Rafferty from Edendork, and she is needing a little bit of attention. And the other Tyrone sub is out there, number 17. You see the managers there, Kevin McChrystal. You see one of them anyway. Kevin is the Tyrone manager, of course. And if we swing over to the left, you'll see Jerry Moan. And Jerry is a Fermanagh man, but of course he managed Tyrone up until this year, and he managed it with Kevin McChrystal, if you follow all that. And Jerry is now very much in charge of Cavan. Gráinne Rafferty taking the freeze from the right. Niamh O'Neill takes him from the other side. And Gráinne goes through her routine. It's her first chance at a free today. And she doesn't connect right at all. It goes way over to the right, but it does stay in play, and now it goes over the end line after O'Neill just got a hand to it. And a sign that Tyrone have been well in this game is they have the same number of scores. They have 5 scores as of Cavan, but of course those 2 goals have been so crucial and made such a difference, and there's such mental blows as well to a team when that happens, when you give so much effort and then you can see the soft goal at the other end. This is great work by Green for Cavan, bursting through, and you know what, she's going for goal as well, and she shoots. It goes over the bar, but great determined play, as we've come to expect from the former captain from Templeport, using all her experience and showing lots of tenacity there, and that's all her own work. Great score by Sinead Green. Double scores, 10-5. Now Byrne gets plenty of height on these kicks, and that is, Kieran turned her back to it, but she still managed to know where it was, and she got it. Gives it to Sheridan, who gives it to McKenna. Oh, and that's a super ball, but Niamh Hughes has watched it all the way for Tyrone and does well in there. And she likes to use her pace to come out of defence, and that's what she's doing, and she gives it to Gervin. Woods for Tyrone surveys her options and goes right. It's Gallagher, number 10, but playing in the half-back line at the minute. Now coming forward, gives it to McHugh, who seems to have come over to the left side. So Tyrone moving things around, and McHugh has been excellent at her forward runs, and she looks like she might get it again, and she tries to get in behind, but the Cavan defence have watched it all the way, and it is a 45. So much good about Tyrone's work today, and so much of it has gone through McHugh. For a moment there, it looked like there might be an opening for a goal, but Tyrone have found no openings for goal in the first 27 minutes of this game, whereas Cavan at the other end have found the route to goal rather too easily. Emma Jane Gervin from Arua. Dungannon doesn't have to take it in the end because it's kicked to her, but Cavan have spotted that one. They knew that trick and they have turned it around. This is Sheridan, Aisling. It's a lovely ball off the outside of the boot, looking for her sister, finds her sister Geraldine, and she spins away, turns her marker inside out, puts it over the bar, and that was all about the Sheridans and all about the clever turnover and then hitting Tyrone on the break, and it goes back to a 6-point game as the rain teems down in Clonus. And poor Tyrone, you have to feel sorry for them. They've played so well, yet they're 6 down and they just can't get an even break. Referee Siobhan Coyle orders the restart, and Byrne again gets plenty of height in the kickouts, but again it goes to Cavan. They've read that well. That was McKenna who's giving it to Bird, and off goes Gilson. And it's a good effort from distance, but it's going to go to the right. She certainly got a good connection, good kick on it. She fancied that one, but it went to the right and wide. Very close to half-time, and I'm sure the players will be happy to get in at half-time, especially the Tyrone players. Now that kick out bounced between players. McHugh went for it, but good strong play by the Cavan captain Laura Fitzpatrick to get possession for her team. Actually, it wasn't McHugh who went for it, that was the sub who came on, Nicola Rafferty. Bird now. Sheridan, Mona Sheridan, one of the 3 sisters. This is Aisling, but Tori McLaughlin doing well in there to get a boot to it, and now she gets the ball in her arms. This is Brennan for Tyrone, and there's movement up ahead from Niamh O'Neill, and they try to find her, but good defending by Cavan in there to deny her. I think that was Shauna Lynch, it was indeed, who got in and snuffed out that one, and that ball will go over the end line, sideline rather, and it's a Cavan ball. 2-5 to 5, 6 points up, and Cavan will probably feel that they haven't done too much to get that 6-point lead. A few counter-attacks have provided the goals and a couple of points. Tyrone have put in a lot of effort, and Cavan have sat back and hit them on the break. And they've got a few, what has to be said, have been soft goals. Mona Sheridan to Gilsonen, looking for Geraldine Sheridan, and the referee has spotted a hand on the back there from Kerr, and that will be a free in for Cavan. The three Sheridans from the Mullahoran club, by the way. Mona's the eldest, then Geraldine, and then Aisling, who was 25 last month on the 18th of July. Plays her football for Mullahoran and Cavan, but also plays a little bit of footy in the women's AFL, as you know, with Collingwood, and before that Northern Territory. A great success in Collingwood last year, and she will be going back there again, and I'm sure on a day like today she's dreaming of sunny Australia. Byrne waves as if to say, I need a little bit of movement, so she ends up again just putting it high up the middle, and Cavan profit from all these kickouts, it seems. They get possession all the time. Tyrone can't win a kickout, and you'd think that Tyrone might be better going short once or twice, but the options don't seem to be there, and maybe that's down to the Cavan marking. Strong tackle there, I think it was by Hughes on Keenahan, and the referee took a tick for that. Mona Sheridan, and that's good defending by Kerr to get in there, and speedily gets to the breaking ball as well. Well done by the girl from the Owen Rua club, originally in Derry. That's where she's from, and that's where she plays her camogie, and she'll play tomorrow in the All-Ireland Camogie Championship for Derry against Meath in Inniskeen. But today she is in the white and red of Tyrone, and defending well and playing out of the Trillick Football Club. This is Katie Byrne from Ahiarn. That's a better ball for her defenders in midfield, because Brennan did really well to get it to Hughes, and this is how Tyrone can profit and get forward, and she looks to pop a little ball in there to the full forward line, but Cavan have watched that all the way, and that's clever defending, you have to say, from Cavan. They knew it was going on, they knew where it was going, and it is half time. A lively first half and a lively finish to it as well, but it is finished with Cavan in control. 2-5 to 5 points at half time here in Clones in the TG4 All-Ireland Senior Football Championship relegation playoff, and it looks at this stage as if Tyrone will be going forward to the final playoff next week on the 28th against Tipperary, and the losers of that will go down. Not that Tyrone have played badly, they have played well, but it's Cavan who are in charge, mainly thanks to a couple of strange and soft goals from a Tyrone point of view, one from a 14-yard free, and the other when Sheridan was allowed to run free and smash it straight to the net. And you have to give credit to the Cavan manager, Jerry Moan, who was previously in charge of Tyrone, of course, and he will be the happier man at half-time. So at half-time in Clones, it's 2-5 to 5 points for Cavan. Please rejoin us for the start of the second half. The rain teeming down in Clonus at the start of the second half. Well, it's been raining for most of half time, even heavier than it is at the minute. You have to feel sorry for the players. It's a tough one. It's even tougher for Tyrone. They are 6 down at half time.
Mentors sitting in the stands to please wear your mask and sit 2 metres apart.
And I'm just watching as well to see the positional changes or any personnel changes, and I see Niamh Woods is out marking Aoibhinn Kiernan, the number 10. So Niamh's playing right half back, and she is over there rather than in the centre. She's wearing number 6, but she's not playing in that position at centre half back. Siobhan Coyle gets us underway, and Tyrone win it. And just going by the opening exchange, they look a little bit determined in the second half to come out and do something about this, and they really need to, because they've only one more chance after today to stay in senior. This is Niamh O'Neill trying to get on her left. You can see all the Cavan defenders waiting for her and biding their time, and that's good defending by Cavan. They did well that time to snuff out the O'Neill threat from the O'Neill county. This is their goalkeeper. This is Elaine Walsh. So awful conditions for the players. Lots of rain before the game, and lots of rain at half time, and lots of rain now. But Cavan have the comfort of a 2-goal lead. That ball played in towards Sheridan. She gets out in front of McLaughlin. That's a really good tussle. She gets away from her. McLaughlin fouls her. She protests, but the free has been given. Aisling Gilsonan with the free. Bit of a tough ask from that angle and way out on the left. But she got one in the first half. She got 2 against Mayo. She's from the Mount Nugent Munter Connacht club. And kicks it to the left, and that will go harmlessly wide. Just looking around the rest of the pitch to see what's going on even tactically. Don't see any Cavan sweeper, although they're always good at getting players back quickly. And Tyrone certainly didn't play with a sweeper in the first half either. This is McKenna for Cavan to Geraldine Sheridan, and she hits a high hopeful ball in towards her sister, and that's always worth doing because she's dangerous in there. But good defending, first of all by McLaughlin, and then good defending, I think it was Woods in there, Niamh Woods, and she took a belt, not for the first time in this game, and the referee has called immediately to talk to Aisling Gilsonan. Now, is this a tick or is this a yellow card? You see the yellow go up, and Cavan are down to 14 players at the start of the second half, and I wonder, will that be a key point in this game? It's hard to be tough on players, especially in these conditions, but she certainly was a little bit rash, and she caught Niamh Woods quite high. And Tyrone now have the advantage of an extra player. This could get interesting if they take advantage in the next 10 minutes and close this game a little bit closer than the 6-point gap. Some people will tell you that that was a forwards tackle. Or maybe, as I say, she just lost her footing. Can Tyrone now profit at the other end? This is McHugh doing great work, as she did in the first half, trying to get in behind, and her clubmate is there, Sasha Byrne, and she has been fouled, and it's a free in for Tyrone, and she gets a pat on the back from her teammate McHugh. They're both down the left side of the attack, but they both went through the middle there. And Niamh O'Neill makes it a 5-point game and gets Tyrone going. They're now up to 15 players to 14, and they've closed it, so things all of a sudden going for Tyrone after nothing seemed to go for them in the first half. It's got interesting here in Clonus, and that's Gallagher and Green going for it, and Gallagher gets there first, and the referee looked like she'd given the free one way, but then altered that to show a free for Tyrone. Good work by Gallagher. Just shows you the way games can change sometimes. And there's a free in behind, and it was Hughes, and I wasn't sure who she'd given it to. In the end, it looked like she might have given it to herself, but it was turned over by Cavan. You can hear the rain pouring down on the roof here in St. Tiernack's Park. So difficult for the players out there. But this is the conditions they have been given in this crucial game. Good work by Sheridan. And she gets a free. The referee explaining clearly what it was for. 2-9 to 8 points. 2-5 to 8 points. What am I saying? I'm looking at the scoreboard and there's a goal posted in the way. And it looks like a 9, but of course it's a 5. 2-5 to 6. I added that up in my head and realised that was wrong. It's 11 to 6. 5 points in it. And that is McVitie going short to Geraldine Sheridan. Gets it back, McVitie. Tackle coming in from Kerr, doing really well there. And they're forcing Cavan to come back and forcing them out all the time. Great work by the Tyrone defence. And they forced an over carry, and that's a turnover. I don't know if you saw that off camera there, but the ball hit the ball net at the back of the goals, and a big, what would you call it, a waterfall of rain came down. So that shows you how heavy the rain is here in Clonus. Niamh Woods, Tyrone on the up. Still 5 points down, but their tails are definitely up. Niamh Woods gets it from Niamh Hughes. McHugh, always available and always bustling through and winning frees as well. And available again from the short ball from Gervin, puts it into the danger area, and there is danger here because Tyrone might work this, but no, good defending to get the ball away from, was it Dervla Gallagher in there trying to get on the end of it. Cavan defending their goal ferociously there. O'Neill penalised there. She got a clean connection on the ball, but she was coming in from behind and the referee said that was a foul. But good defending from Cavan. And similar to the first half, Tyrone just can't get a sniff of goal at all. Niamh Hughes unfortunate there, and Cavan have capitalised through McKenna and then Keenahan, and they love to get the quick ball into the forwards because they have the forwards who can do damage. Kerr does very well again at full-back area for Tyrone, and there's a little bit of a spark about the Tyrone play. They're moving the ball around well. Brennan involved, and now Gervin. There's a spring in the step. Grania Rafferty looking for movement, gets it. And it's McHugh, of course, again, and she drives through again. What a handful she is, and she puts it over, and that's reward for her. There was a free given, as there usually is, on McHugh when she tries to go through, but this time the referee played a very sensible advantage. And that referee is now going in to talk to one of her umpires to have a word, and it looked like a very quick word. Play will go on, but that's another score for Tyrone. Remember, they're a player up, and they're now just 4 points down. And the free player is way over to the left. That's Niamh Hughes. She's the spare player at the minute. But the kick out has gone towards the Cavan captain. But Tyrone have turned it over. And Niamh O'Neill now is speeding off towards goal. And she's drawn another free. And Tyrone have been very good. You can depend on, it depends on what way you look at it. Tyrone drawing the frees, or Cavan deliberately fouling them and not letting them near the goal area, but certainly there has been a trend of Tyrone running at Cavan and winning frees. Grania Rafferty will take this one. That's her side. But Cavan certainly have not let Tyrone anywhere near the goal area. They haven't had a sight of goal. But Rafferty can reduce the gap to 3 points, and that would be the closest it's been for a long time. 2-5 plays 8 points, and Tyrone are taking advantage of the extra player. Just a goal in it now. Sinead Green uses her experience and spins away from the rest of the players to collect vital possession from the kick out and gives it to Bird. And it's still Bird, but she hesitated for a moment, and Tyrone pounced. Niamh Hughes, the spare player does well to get it out to Sasha Byrne. And as the rain continues to pour down, Tyrone draw yet another free. And it's another tick for another Cavan player. But Tyrone causing problems when they run at Cavan. And this could reduce the gap to 2. It's getting even more interesting. It'll be interesting on the sideline as well. Kevin McChrystal, the Tyrone manager, has come away from the sideline. I think he's looking for that little bobble hat he had in the first half, or maybe a peaked hat. Whereas Jerry Moan, of course the former Tyrone manager now with Cavan, has got his hood up. Rafferty to reduce it to 2. And she does. Tyrone have scored 4 times since the Cavan team went down to 14. Niamh Hughes again is the spare player, the number 7. All of the other players are in a bunch around the middle. And it's Green again for Cavan, who makes the break from that bunch to get vital possession and gets a free. That's obviously a tactic from Cavan from kickouts, and it's worked. I'm just watching off camera to see Niamh Hughes, the spare player for Tyrone, and see her movements. And she's just sitting, waiting like a sweeper, anticipating the kick. And the Cavan players not sure what to do, but they go short in the end, which is probably the best option. And Mona Sheridan is there, number 7. But the Tyrone number 7 is close. That's Niamh Hughes. Free for Cavan, right onto the hill on the far side. And you see one man in the hill there, just one person in the hill. He's wearing a red bobble hat, so I imagine that's part of the Tyrone management getting a different perspective on the game. And that ball goes down the heart of the Tyrone defence, but it goes straight to Grania Rafferty, wearing 14 but sitting in there like a sweeper, and gets that possession rather easily. And Tyrone are off again, and it's Niamh O'Neill getting out in front and doing really well, and there's a player over, and it's Brennan. And Tyrone really have their tails up, and it's Sasha Byrne, and that kick is going in from a really, really bad angle, but it didn't look too far away. It's actually just gone, I think, to the right and wide. But Tyrone applying all sorts of pressure, and Cavan are cracking. They can't wait to get Aisling Gilson back on, and I see her doing runs over to my left. She wants to be ready to get back in, because obviously they need to be back to 15. Tyrone are warming up a player as well, and it's Niamh McGurr, and she's just getting the slip passed to her. Number 2 there for Cavan, Rachel Doonan, gets her free. Referee taking a note in her book and watching the play and giving another free to Cavan, and you see the slippy conditions having an effect there. So Cavan still down to 14. Tyrone making a change, and it's Niamh McGurr from St Macartn's, the All-Star nominee from 2019. Now, where is she going to come in to the play? She's actually coming in from Dervla Gallagher. And she's going on
substitution on the Tyrone
straight
team.
to Sinead Green.
Niamh McGurr replaces number 10, Dervla Gallagher. Number 25 for 10 on the Tyrone team.
Caitlin Kelly has also been lined up to come in for Tyrone, and it's interesting that the Tyrone sub there, McGurr, went straight on to Sinead Green, and she's now following her every step of the way. But meanwhile, back with the play, Rachel Doonan, the Cavan number 2, is forward there and does really well to win a free. And Aisling Gilson, and now number 15 is coming back on for Cavan, and the number 15 means that Cavan are back up to 15. That was a purple patch for Tyrone, 4 points in a row. So Gilson will come on and take the free right away and try and get her team back and make up for her absence. Yeah, the point I was trying to make there was that Niamh McGurr, the sub for Tyrone, has come on and gone straight on to Green. And in the last 10 minutes, Green picked up 2 kickouts a little bit too easily. So obviously the Tyrone management spotted that. That looks low, that looks dangerous though, and it's one of those ones that could have bounced into the net, but it goes wide, and it's a 45. It's got very interesting here in Cavan, despite the conditions.
Substitution on the Tyrone team, number 20, Caitlin Kelly replaces number 15, Sasha Byrne. Number 20 for 15 on the Tyrone team.
And you could say that the Tyrone management are being quite ruthless, because Sasha there put a ball wide a couple of minutes ago and it was the wrong option, but she did go for it, and I wonder, are they saying we can't afford mistakes anymore? So they've replaced her with Caitlin Kelly, and as I said, they have also made a quick switch to stop Sinead Byrne, or at least to keep, or Sinead Green, or at least to keep her busy. And that's exactly what's happening just ahead of the play, because the sub who's come in, Niamh McGurr, is making all sorts of runs to try and get on the ball. Tyrone are not giving this up. Only 2 points down. They've come right back into it. Cavan struggling. They haven't scored in a long time. And Niamh O'Neill there drops the shoulder again and tries to bustle her way through, but she's blown for overcarrying this time. She went through the Cavan defence like a knife through butter in the league game a few months ago, and that's what she was trying to do again, but they held her ground. Good tackling there by Niamh O'Neill. Gets a hand in, and a hand in again. Twice, she does 3 times she gets a hand in and wins it in the end. Brilliant work by Niamh O'Neill for her team. She scores them, but she gets back and challenges as well, as any good forward should do. So it's very interesting. Tyrone making all the changes. They've now made 4 substitutions in this game. 2 were forced in the first half, and 2 seem to be tactical in the last 5 minutes or so, and they're trying to give a little bit of momentum. Niamh Woods turns away from Sheridan in the end. Oh, that's brilliant work by Woods. She looked like she might lose possession, but that's great play, very inspirational play. And it's meant that Tyrone could get back to a point with this effort, and it is accurate. And it is Nicola Rafferty from Eden Torque bringing it back to a 1-point game, but it was all about Niamh Woods. The water break comes at a fascinating time. I'm sure Tyrone didn't want it. A 1-point game, and they really had their tails up when it looked like they had blown their chance and were heading for another relegation playoff next week. They have stormed back into this game, and they're all patting each other on the back. They all want to get talking, and they all want to get out there again, because they have done so well. They've scored 10 times. Cavan have scored 7 times. They got 2 soft goals in the first half from a Tyrone point of view. So they haven't certainly been in charge here by any means, but on the scoreboard they have. Now it's just 1 point in it, and they have not scored for a long time. I think they're looking at bringing on a substitute themselves, and it looks like 21, that's Emma Dalton from the Gowna club. That looks to be Jerry Moan reacting to the situation, and they do look like they need something. 1 point in it, and they're all like drowned rats out there, God love them. But they are putting on quite a show, and it's been a really entertaining and outstanding comeback by Tyrone.
On the Erin on Cavan, a substitution on the Cavan team. Number 21, Emma Houghton, replaces number 10, Evie Kiernan. Number 21 for 10 on the Cavan team.
I'm sure you heard that. Kiernan from Ballymacue has come off, and that means now that the substitute, Emma Dalton, is directly on Niamh Woods. The kick out from Elaine Walsh. It's won by Laura Fitzpatrick, the captain for Cavan. It bounced kindly for her. Tough conditions. Did they really need a water break? There's a lot of water out there, a lot of water on the pitch, and a lot of water falling as well. That'll be a welcome free for Cavan. But Tyrone are tackling tenaciously in this second half. They have definitely not given up the ghost. They came right back into it after being 6 points down at the end of the first half. They've scored the last 5. And sometimes things go for you in games, and sometimes they just seem to go against no matter what happens. And for Tyrone in the first half, nothing went right. 2 substitutions forced because of injury, and a couple of soft goals. But look at them now, 5 points in a row. And they're thinking now we can win this. And you'd be very disappointed from a Cavan point of view they shouldn't even be in this because they were ahead against Monaghan late on and conceded a late goal. They've been 6 points up here, but they're now in danger. The forwards haven't been getting anywhere, and that's Niamh O'Neill with a clever ball crossfield, and that could lead to an equaliser. And it's shot high and it's shot accurately and it's gone over the bar. It is an equaliser, and Tyrone have scored 6 in a row and they have levelled it. It's all square in St Tiernack's Park in Clones in this playoff. It was Emma Brennan, of course, who got the equaliser from Trillick. She's been rewarded for all of her running in the first half and the second. She's done really well, and Tyrone have won the kick out again. Cavan, we all know about their forwards, but they are being starved of possession. Aoibhinn McHugh goes short to Niamh Hughes. Cavan have dropped a few players in, and they've said to Tyrone, come on at us if you like. And now that's a high ball, which was kind of 50-50, but really well won. A good hand in there by Niamh McGurr, and the chance now goes to O'Neill, and she takes it. Tyrone are ahead. You wouldn't have put money on that. They were 6 down. They're now 1 up. What a comeback by Tyrone. What a second half. And Cavan forced to go short, and they go short and they win possession and they win a free there. And it's Cavan now on the back foot. What a turnaround. Jerry Moan, the manager of Cavan, formerly manager of Tyrone, is now looking at a switch. Niamh Woods for Tyrone, and it's Tyrone winning possession again. And she gives it to Jane Lyons from the Berra Club, and she gives it to Grania Rafferty, and she speeds off. Tyrone have all the answers at the minute. She turns on to her right. Nice little slip ball in there, popped into Niamh McGurr, who's made a difference. It was her hand in for the last score. O'Neill again on the left foot, looks to turn, looks to get a free, but spills it, and Cavan get that one. Correct decision by the referee, Siobhan Coyle, and Cavan do get a free for trying to burst through and drawing a free there from Tyrone. That was good work. I think it was Doonan in there. The sub for Cavan is going to be their number 19, Emer Corcoran from the Lurgan Club.
On the D, Erin and Cavan. Substitution on the Cavan team. Number 19, Zara Fay, replaces number 8, Sinead McKenna. Number 19 for 8 on the Cavan team.
Apologies, I give you number 18. It's 19, of course, and it is Zara Fay from Drum Lane who has come into the play in place of Sinead McKenna from Crosserlock, the Cavan midfielder. Now, can Cavan get back into this game? That's better from them. A high hopeful ball up the middle, really well taken by Aisling Sheridan. We need her to stand up now from a Cavan point of view, but Tyrone have turned it over and won a free again. And you have to admire the Tyrone defending, disciplined and tenacious in the second half. And you have to ask, is this the same Tyrone team? Because they have done so well at the back in the second half. Good work by their subs as well. They've made a big difference, and Niamh McGurr has won a free and gives it up as well to another sub. That's Nicola Rafferty, but she's penalised, and it's a Cavan free. All to play for. Tyrone 1 up. Gilsonen. She gets the sideline ball. But Cavan have really lost their way. They can't get a score for love nor money in the second half, but they might get it now. They're a point down. That's the captain, leading by example, number 6 Fitzpatrick. The kick comes in from the number 7 Mona Sheridan, but it goes left and it goes wide. Cavan are getting anxious. You can feel it from their subs just down below us and from their manager Jerry Moan. Tyrone goalkeeper Katie Byrne. Now, where is she going to put it this time? She usually goes high and long, and she goes low and left and does really well, and it's really well taken as well. Who was that over on that far side? I'm trying to see who it was. Was it Woods? No, this is Woods. It was actually the number 7 who did really well there, Niamh Hughes. No, it wasn't Niamh Hughes. Must be the sub, number 17, Emma Mulgrew. Excuse me while I work all this out. Here's another of the Tyrone subs, number 20, Caitlin Kelly, and the high kick comes in. That might just be going to the right, and it is going to the right and wide. Tyrone 12 points, Cavan 2-5, 12 plays 11. Cavan goes short again. Emma Dalton there. O'Neill trying to close it down, but doesn't manage to do so. Yeah, just to clarify, number 17 is Emma Mulgrew from Killishall for Tyrone, and it was her who was involved there. It was her who made the good catch from the kick out. I think I missed that substitution somewhere along the way. Maybe it was at half-time. But it was good work by her. Cavan desperately need to get back into it. Their captain does really well there, but will Tyrone keep it out? No, Cavan persists, and they have a chance now, and that is their first score of the second half, and it's from Niamh Keenahan, and boy did Cavan need that. Their first score of the half, and they have levelled it. It was all a little bit frantic up the middle, but in these conditions you can understand that. There's been a lot of rain. It's very greasy out there. Down in front of me, the Cavan manager Jerry Moan is consulting and thinking about what they can do next. Now it's Tyrone's turn to see if they can respond. And who's there? It's their former captain, Niamh Woods, and she speeds off just when they need leadership. That's brilliant work by her. She makes sure that she get it into Tyrone hands, and Niamh O'Neill is there looking to get it on her left foot. There's a nice pop ball. That's a dangerous one as well, as a hand goes in, and surely that's going to be a free, might even be a goal, but they're going to get a point either way because Aoibhinn McHugh has fired it over the bar. She's been the player of the match so far from a Tyrone point of view. She was at the end of that move, and she puts them a point up. Tyrone now bringing on Regan Fay from Airua. I think she's a Camogie player as well with Eglish. And Cavan looking at bringing on a sub. 23 is down in front of us. That's Niamh Halton from Gowna. They've brought one Dalton on. They're going to bring a second one on.
On the day Erin Huron, substitution on the Tyrone team, number 28. Regan Fay replaces number 8, Emma Brennan. Number 28 for 8 on the Tyrone team.
Back with the play then, and it is Emma Jane Gervin.
On the day Erin on Cavan, in substitution on the Cavan team, number 23, Niamh Halton replaces number 12, Niamh Keenahan. Number 23 for 12 on the Cavan team.
It's got very, very interesting in this relegation playoff. Who can finish the stronger? Emma Jane Gervin for Tyrone. Gets a free. We should note the contribution of Niamh Woods at crucial times in this game, like in that last score. It was her drive forward, as it was about 5 or 6 minutes ago as well. Through the middle of the defence, showing the way. And then McHugh did the rest. Here comes Regan Fay just on the field for Tyrone. And Tyrone now playing with a little bit of a swagger. They've got more confidence certainly than they did in the first half. And they look like they can finish the job. This is McHugh back to Hughes. The captain, McLaughlin, is there if she needs. Cavan just sitting in. And Tyrone are being patient. But are they going to be turned over? They are turned over. Cavan have only scored 1 point in this half. Gilsonen. She went off to the sin bin for 10 minutes, but she is very much back in the game. Now, is that going to stay in? It is going to stay in. All square in Cavan. In Clonus, rather, with Cavan. And there's an interesting effort, a high hopeful one across the goals. It goes wide, but the referee will bring it back for a free for Cavan. Lauren McVitie looks like she's coming over to take it, the centre half forward. She scored a penalty against Tyrone a couple of months ago and a goal from play. McVitie goes short, and that's interesting. That was Green went for it, but McVitie picks it up and shoots with her left foot, but it will go wide to the left, and the referee has seen a push there though, and she's going to give that, and there's a lot of people not happy about that, but Sheridan, I think it's Geraldine in there, is protesting as well. She's trying to appeal to the referee for something. It wouldn't be a penalty, it was a bit further out than that, but it's certainly a free, and this could be a crucial point in this game, because it looked like Cavan had missed their chance, but now Gilsonan has a gilt-edged chance. Level in Clonus. In a relegation playoff, Gilsonan steps in on her right foot, and she does not miss it. She puts Cavan ahead. They have struggled in this second half. They conceded 7 in a row, but now they are a point up at the business end of the half. The kick out from Katie Byrne for Tyrone. Crucial. They scrapped for it. It looked like a Tyrone ball, but who's there? It's Sinead Green. And just as Niamh Woods, the former captain of Tyrone, has stepped up, Green, the former captain of Cavan, has stepped up just when it's needed to get in there and win that crucial ball and win a free. Tyrone sent in a sub to try and counter her, but they can't stop Sinead Green. Green gives it to their number 23, Niamh Halton, one of the two Haltons who have come in. Or is it Emma Dalton, actually? It's Dalton and Halton. Either way, here comes in a kick from Cavan. Goes over the bar, that's better, and all of a sudden it's Cavan now on top. They go 2 clear. That's much better from them. The referee looks at her watch, and have Cavan done enough right at the end of this game? So just to be clear, there is a Dalton and a Halton on the team for Cavan. The kick out from Katie Byrne for Tyrone. And it's Cavan with their tails up now. They seem to have survived the onslaught from Tyrone. Can they now see this out and secure their Division 1 status? They're moving the ball around well. It looked like they couldn't get a score from anywhere, but they have managed to get scores. And this is going to the right and wide. Referee looks at her watch again. Time running out for Tyrone. Goalkeeper Byrne does well to find Niamh Hughes from the kick out. Tyrone need to get up the field, and they need to get up the field quickly. They are certainly showing the necessary urgency, and that's a good ball looking for Grania Rafferty. She asked for it, she called for it, she's got it. Now Rafferty going towards goal, she's turning dangerously, but she's got lots of players around her, and she kicks. It goes wide, but it'll be coming back for a free in. Well done by Grania Rafferty from Killishall. This should make it a 1-point game. Rafferty's still down though, and she tends to take those ones from there. But O'Neill will take over the free taking duties. And then it's a matter of how long we have left. Niamh O'Neill shouldn't have any trouble here. She doesn't. Now, it's all about how much time there is left. The referee, Siobhan Coyle, looks at her watch for about the 3rd time, and it's about who wins this kick out. Elaine Walsh, oh, she does brilliantly to try and pick out a Cavan player, but it's spilled. It's anybody's now. And they've all stopped, and the referee has blown her whistle, and I wonder, is that actually the end of the game? And it's actually 2-8 to 14 points. I thought it was 1 point in it, but the reason for no cheers at the end is that we're going to extra time. 2-8 plays 14 points. Apologies if I led you astray there, but I had it in my mind there that Cavan were 2 up, and that brought it back to 1. But it's level. We have extra time. more drama in Clonus, and a bonus because we're going to have more play. And I thought that the free from Gilson and put Cavan 1 up, then they had a score from play, went 2 up, and then there was 1 back by Neve O'Neill. But I'm looking at the scoreboard now and it says 2-8 to 14, and right at the end there you could see that there was no reaction from either team, and that's why I thought it was a little bit suspicious. And indeed that means that we are level here and we are going to extra time. So please do rejoin us in a couple of minutes when the players come back out in Clonus. We are in bonus territory in St Tiernach's Park in Clones. We have more football here than we anticipated. And apologies if you were watching at the end and I told you that Cavan were still ahead at the end and it was a draw. Apologies for that. It is definitely level. And to be fair to both teams, I think that is fair, because Tyrone made a great comeback in the second half and deserved to go to extra time. And the great run by Grania Rafferty that created the opportunity for Niamh O'Neill to pop over the equaliser was really, really impressive, and that epitomised the Tyrone comeback. Great comeback by them after being 6 down at half time. They came right back into it and they led. They scored 7 points in a row, but right now it's all about extra time, and the referee is out there, Siobhan Coyle, doing the toss for the second time with Tori McLaughlin and Laura Fitzpatrick. Can't tell from that who won the toss. Not sure it really matters here. We have absolutely no wind, and thankfully now we also have no rain. But everybody who was playing out there got absolutely drenched today because of the heavy rain throughout the game. So it's a slippy surface out there. And the Tyrone manager is out there, Kevin McChrystal, having a word with the referee. And the former Tyrone manager is just down in front of us coming off the field. That's Jerry Moan, now the manager of Cavan, of course. Just adding another little bit of spice to the occasion. And the occasion is the 2021 Senior Football Championship Relegation Playoff. The loser of this goes forward to play Tipperary next weekend. So we start extra time, and first up there is Aisling Sheridan. And Aisling does brilliantly to win it and speed off towards goal. She's moved into midfield for extra time and made a big impact there right at the start, but she's also made an impact on the Tyrone defender, Emma Mulgrew, and the referee has taken a note of that. I mentioned at the start that there were 3 Emmas on the Tyrone starting 15. Well, now Emma Mulgrew's in there as well. So it's Emma Brennan, Emma Jane Gervin, Emma Haggerty and Emma Mulgrew, and she's down at the minute. So all to play for, and a signal of intent there by Aisling Sheridan, moving out to midfield for the throw-in, winning it and driving towards a Tyrone goal, but they didn't get a score, so it remains 8 to 14 points. Draw game in Clones. Niamh Woods takes her time, gives it to her goalkeeper, gets it back. It's so important to hold possession and drive forward, and this is fantastic from the former captain and double all-star. That's super play by her to turn the game around a little bit and give her team a little bit of impetus, and they do love to try and get that ball up to Niamh O'Neill, and that's exactly what they did, and she did brilliantly to get out in front and hold on to the ball in these difficult conditions. And you can tell that she already fancies this just inside the 45. But every score now will be at a premium. They're level. O'Neill from a great distance out drops it just to the right. It remains level. From the kick out, Elaine Walsh from Killygarry goes long just outside the 45, but it's well read and it breaks nicely for Niamh Hughes from the area club. She does well. Needless to say, possession so important. That's Avian McHugh. That's a lovely ball into O'Neill, and she goes for it again. And McHugh eventually is dispossessed, but that was another enterprising move by her. A Tyrone steal it just after a free had been awarded. That's Niamh McGurr in there, 25. Very disappointed. She thought that she had turned it over, but it's Cavan. Oh, what a hand. That's a lovely little touch there by the number 11, Lauren McVitie, just to put it into the path of Aisling Sheridan, and she does so well, but she's got attention from 2 Tyrone players. She gets help from her sister Geraldine, and she gets a free in the end. That's really good work by the Cavan forwards, but they are having to work hard for it. McVitie. She spots a run. She tries to get it back from Gilsonen, and Gilsonen fouls. She's already been in the sin bin once and it gets ticked again. Gráinne Rafferty of Tyrone deserves immense credit for the run at the end of the game that forced extra time. And she's off running again and looking for O'Neill again, but that evaded both players. But now O'Neill is quickest to it. She gets there before Murren Smith. And you can always sense the panic in the Cavan defence when she gets the ball. There's a chance here. Oh, and Niamh McGurr steadied herself on her left foot, but just put it too far to the right. Lots of effort, lots of endeavour, and some very good play as well, but it's all very tense. Aisling Sheridan playing around the middle now. They've obviously asked her to give them a shift in extra time here. They need it. Geraldine Sheridan doing so well there to pounce and to get that ball and to spin away from her marker and win a free. Brilliant play by the girl from Mullahoran. Just watching down in front of me here that Aoibhinn McHugh has come down and had a word with her manager and pointed something out. Not quite sure what it is. And immediately Cavan has signalled and spoken to one of his subs to come down. So there must be somebody in a Tyrone jersey that is struggling there, and Aoibhinn had spotted it and has told her manager. Cavan do seem to have a sweeper now, by the way, even though they're taking this to go back in front. I can see. Actually, it's just players working themselves out. I don't think it is a sweeper. Both teams have gone for it today. Cavan 1 point up. Tyrone goalkeeper Katie Byrne from Ahiarn again goes high up the middle. Sinead Green goes for it, but that's really good work. Oh, actually, I thought it was good work by the Tyrone player, but Niamh McGurr has actually been penalised for holding her player back. That was Sinead Green, and it's a free for Cavan. And as you can probably hear, Tyrone people alongside me not pleased with that decision. The referee trying to hold things up for a moment, and she's actually going to hop the ball. Not quite sure why that is, but she hops it. Sheridan goes for it. They all go for it, and Tyrone win it, and Tyrone have turned over possession. It's all very tense, and now, oh, there's a heavy challenge going in, a little shove there, and the referee not pleased with that at all, and that was the Cavan substitute, Zara Fay. The referee calls for her. And the Tyrone sub, Reagan Fay, was surrounded by 3 or 4 players, looked like she'd nowhere to go. And a yellow card shown for that challenge by Fay. And Cavan, for the second time today, are down to 14 players. And Fay came on as a sub and has gone off to the sin bin. Could it get any more interesting in Clonus? Cavan a point up, player down. Niamh Woods for Tyrone. Emma Jane Gervin. Oh, but she's lost it. The ball has spilled, and it's McVitie. Cavan will counter-attack with 14 players. An effort from distance from Gilsonen. Will she get it? It goes to the right. It was a brilliant effort by her. A great run and a great effort, but it goes wide. The referee having a word with another Tyrone player, by the way, and calling her over for a word and taking a note, and it could be a yellow, and there is a yellow, and Tyrone are down to 14. I didn't see what happened there, whether it was a challenge or something was said, but both teams are now down to 14 players, and it is the number 5 for Tyrone. That's Jane Lyons. I said, could it get any more interesting? It has just got more interesting. First period of extra time. Sinead Green for Cavan. Immediately sets off to attack and wins a free. Foul by Niamh McGurr, and that really has been an interesting battle since McGurr has come in. Green plays a sensible ball down to Geraldine Sheridan in the right of the attack. She's looked so lively today. But Megan Kerr has stuck to the challenge. Sheridan gets it again. That's been an intriguing battle as well. Gilsonan now, she's got a good kick on her, and that goes though to the left and wide. She didn't connect as she usually does. It's all frantic in Clonus, and it's 1 point scored for all the endeavour that we've seen in the first period of extra time, and it was from a free, and it's Cavan ahead. Tyrone goalkeeper Katie Byrne looking for movement. She gets it from Niamh Woods. Niamh set off to the left hand side, but the kick is too far to the right and it goes over the end line, and Emma Dalton from Guyna will go through the gate to collect the ball, and she will take the sideline ball for Cavan. I don't see any Cavan players going looking for it just yet. Cavan in no particular rush. She looks for Aisling Sheridan. She does well to win it. She's looking lively now that she's further out the field a bit, and she draws a free as well, and Tyrone a little bit exasperated by that, but good leadership from the full forward now playing out around the middle of the field. Just outside the D. Gilsonan to put Cavan 2 up. It's too low though, and it's too much to the left. Little bit of a let off for Tyrone. Now Katie Byrne with the kick out. Where's she going to go this time? A lot of the kick outs have been high and have been 50-50s. This is another one, but it doesn't matter because there is a whistle for the end of the first period of extra time. I'm hearing the Cavan supporters, come on Cavan, trying to shout encouragement to the players. They have given everything today in very difficult conditions, and they are 1 point up with another 10 minutes to go. So a lot of effort still required here in Clonus. The players, of course, not going in at the end of the first period. And you see under the stand there, the Cavan management team talking to their players, and you see maybe Jerry Moan coming in there now. Tyrone manager up until this year, and now he's the Cavan manager, so he knows the players well, and you can see by his body language there, I think he's saying to them, calm everything down, you're 1 point up. And there is the current Tyrone manager, Kevin McChrystal, laying down the law to his team, and I guess the message is you put in a great effort. You just need 10 more minutes. Give me 10 more minutes. You can still win this and avoid another relegation playoff next week against Tipperary. So Tyrone failed to score in the first half of extra time, but they only conceded 1. And the manager Jerry Moan talking directly there to Aisling Gilsonan. She's missed a few from play and from frees in the first period of extra time, but I'm sure the manager isn't focusing on that. He just wants them to get out there and give it everything for another 10 minutes. Forget about what's happened so far. And I can see way off camera down to the right that Niamh O'Neill is trying to get the supporters to give more encouragement for Tyrone. Trying to lift it here off the field and on it. Cavan are bringing on another sub.
Substitution on the Cavan team, number 22, Kate McIntyre, replaces number 3, Shauna Lynch. 22 for 3 on the Cavan team.
The fourth official scoreboard said 27 for 3, but it was definitely 22 who went on. Kate McIntyre from St Finbarrs is on for Shauna Lynch for Cavan. Second period of extra time. Aoibhinn McHugh does brilliantly to tap that one down, and it means that Niamh O'Neill is in possession right away, and you know she's going to swing it on her left. Is this an equaliser? No, it's gone to the right agonisingly for Tyrone and wide. A really good move, but they still haven't scored in extra time. Elaine Walsh, loads of room out this side. Cavan work this really well from the kickouts, and they usually do get possession, and that's Rachel Doonan from Templeport doing really, really well there. Wins it and wins a free. Gilsonen is trying to get herself free but can't, so it goes up the middle. Sheridan goes for it. Niamh Hughes gets a hand to it, but Sheridan now gets it. That's Aisling Sheridan doing really well, getting it to Mona Sheridan. And this is Sinead Green storming forward, the former captain, and she goes herself. Looked like a goal might be on. She took the option to score herself, and that was the right option, and Cavan now have a 2-point lead after that burst forward. The kick out is brilliant from Katie Byrne. Does really well to find Rafferty. Niamh Hughes off on a run. Remember, it's 14 players against 14 at the minute. 2 in the sin bin. Brilliant work by Niamh Hughes and by Regan Fay to give it back to her, but she drops it at the vital moment, gets a toe poke to it, and there's still a chance here for Tyrone. And in the end, they still have it. They still get another chance, and they lose it again. It's all frantic out there, and Cavan survive. Tyrone, interestingly, looking to bring Emma Brennan into the play. And Emma will come in place of Regan Fay, according to the scoreboard in front of me, but I don't think that's actually correct. Or is it? It is correct.
Substitution on the Tyrone team. Number 8, Emma Brennan, replaces number 28, Regan Fay. Number 8 for 28 on the Tyrone team.
Now Cavan have the comfort of a 2-point lead. So will Tyrone go for points, or will they go for goal? Well, Elaine Walsh, their goalkeeper, goes short to the player who was down injured there for a few minutes, and that will of course be added on at the end, and the free kick is taken quickly and goes straight to Gilsonen, who has got free. That's good work by her. Gilsonen now looking for Geraldine Sheridan and finding her really well, and she lays it off to Sinead Green, and the hand comes in, and that is a free for Cavan. They're 2 up. This could be crucial. It could put them 3 up, and Tyrone could be down to 13 players. And they are. She protested her innocence right away, but you could see that she was in trouble as soon as the player went down. And Tyrone are now looking to bring on Dervla Gallagher, so they're bringing on players that they've taken off and bringing them on for the last 10 minutes. They're asking a little bit more.
Substitution on the Tyrone team. Number 10, Dervla Gallagher, replaces number 7, Niamh Hughes. Number 10 for 7 on the Tyrone team.
And the Tyrone defender who has been sin-binned is Megan Kerr. Round of applause for the efforts of Niamh Hughes, and rightly so. Now can Cavan go 3 up? Oh, it hits the post and drops down dangerously. It could have been a goal, never mind a point. Ends up nothing for Cavan. We've had everything today here in Clones, and now we have 14 players against 13, and the 14 are 2 points up. Tyrone not dead yet by any means. Tori McLaughlin involved. Niamh Woods, the experienced player, standing up when it's needed, and that's great strong play by Woods to retain possession. And this is Aoibhinn McHugh storming forward again and winning a free. Niamh O'Neill will take it. It's quite a distance out, but she is capable of putting it over from here, and what a lift this would be for Tyrone. Second period of extra time. Tyrone down to 13 players. They're 2 points down. They haven't scored in extra time. If ever they needed Niamh O'Neill, they need her now, but it's dropped short. It's still there for Tyrone. They still have a chance. Lots of Cavan shirts back there, though. It's difficult, but Maeve Maxwell is in there now, and eventually Cavan turn it over. Kate McIntyre for Cavan to Aisling Sheridan. She's fouled. And the referee having a word with another Tyrone player. Surely they're not going to go down to 12. There was a famous game here in Clonus many years ago in the men's game where Tyrone won with 12 men against Derry. Now they have 12 women against Cavan, and it's Emma Jane Gervin, and obviously in extra time the ticks have been adding up, and Tyrone are down unbelievably to 12. Aisling Sheridan hoops the ball with a mighty kick down to the left hand side, but it's easily picked up by Tyrone. I say easily, nothing will be easy for Tyrone now. They've only 12 players. Tori McLaughlin is there and Niamh Woods. I'm just going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Tyrone have 12 players on the pitch. I don't think I've ever seen this in ladies football. And still they come forward. Brilliant block by Aisling Sheridan, though, to stop them in their tracks. Tyrone desperately trying to get players back, but everything is desperate now from a Tyrone point of view, and it's all Cavan, and they are looking good. Niamh Halton involved, Emma Dalton involved, and look at the fight from Tyrone. Brilliant play by Niamh McGurr. Tyrone get a free, and Cavan get a player back, so Cavan are up to 15. So it's 15 plays, 12 players at the minute. Tyrone sub 29, Nicole Murphy from Cull Island is coming in.
Nicole Murphy replaces number 23, Maeve Maxwell. Number 29 or 23 on the Tyrone team.
I'm sure you heard that. Maxwell is coming off. $15 players for Cavan, 12 players for Tyrone. Deep into the second period of extra time, Dervla Gallagher, one of the 12. McIntyre with the challenge, but it's 29 for Tyrone. That's Nicole Murphy from Cull Island, who's just come in, and she gets it again from McHugh. Lots of Cavan shirts, and there is one of them picking that up. They have 3 players extra. Gilson now for Cavan. 15 she has on her back, and 15 players out there for Cavan, but only 12 for Tyrone. Surely this is it. Surely it's all over for Tyrone, especially if Cavan can score here through Gilson. And she puts it over the bar and makes it 11 to 14 points. And surely that's it from a Cavan point of view. Surely they are going to retain their status in senior. The Tyrone goalkeeper Katie Byrne surveying her options, and there aren't many, but she does brilliantly to find Aoibhinn McHugh, and McHugh does brilliantly to win it. She certainly has put in a storming performance, and Tyrone win a free. Maybe they're not dead yet. Here comes Niamh McGurr. Blue shirts everywhere, it must seem. Murphy has looked lively, and she puts in a dangerous ball, but it's well read by the Cavan goalkeeper Walsh. And Cavan just need to keep possession. This is Sheridan, and look at the room here for McVitie. And Tyrone are out on their feet. They've given everything today, but it's not going to be their day. McVitie now, just sensibly holding it up. Gilson and Cavan have worked this cleverly, but the shot has gone wide. Cavan looking to bring on number 27, Karen McCaffrey from Temple Port. I don't know if there will be time. I've never seen this before in ladies football. 15 against 12. McHugh again wins it from the kick out. What a performance she has given today, and what heart she is showing late in the game. Sinead Green diving in there for Cavan. She had no right to win that, but she gets a hop. What a battle she has had there with Niamh McGurr. It's been fascinating to watch. McCaffrey is coming on for Cavan.
On Cavan, a substitution on the Cavan team, number 27, Cara McCaffrey replaces number 14, Aisling Sheridan. Number 27 for 14 on the Cavan team.
And Aisling Sheridan being called ashore after that big effort, and she asked the manager, I think, what was that for, or why are you taking me off? I'm a little bit surprised about that myself, I have to say. Their Australian rules star taken off. Free for Cavan. Tyrone up to 13 players now. One of their sin-binned players has come back on, so it's 15 against 13. And Zara Faye is back on. That's her number 19 involved, as is Gilsonan now. But she is fouled out there by Murphy. Gilsonan takes the kick. Halton. The captain is available, but instead she does well to pick out Gilsonan. Gilsonan goes through 2 challenges and shoots low, but it's still very dangerous. It could have gone just about anywhere, but in the end the goalkeeper Byrne did well and gets it to Niamh Woods. Now Niamh knows that time is nearly up, gives it to McHugh. McHugh turns again, and she looks to kick past to Niamh O'Neill. This is really good play by Tyrone. All the way from the goalkeeper, then Niamh Woods, now Niamh Hughes via Evie McHugh, and Niamh plays an amazing ball deep into the Cavan danger area. You could see what she was doing. It was asking a little bit much, but at this time in the game they have to try it, and I think that was Grania Rafferty trying to get there, and if she had got there and got a goal, well, that would have made it really, really interesting. The final whistle eventually goes, and it's a victory for Cavan. I've never seen scenes like this. 15 were playing 12 at one point, but it's ended on the scoreboard at 2-11 to 14 points for Cavan. They have survived an almighty battle between these Ulster rivals in Clonus. What a game, what drama we had, but it was Cavan who pulled away in extra time, and Tyrone were unable to score in added time, and they now will go next week to take on Tipperary in a relegation playoff, and that's the last chance saloon. It's a battle for survival next week. Well done to Wicklow today. They're through to the TG4 All-Ireland Junior Final, and well done to Cavan. They have retained their All-Ireland Senior status for next year. Next week it's down to Tyrone against Tipperary. Credit to both sets of players, especially in the conditions, and to the officials. And you have to pick out one player. Evie McHugh for Tyrone was absolutely magnificent. Others also deserve mention, but she stood out. And for Cavan, well, Aisling Gilsonan was terrific through most of the match, even though she was yellow carded at one point. And Aisling Sheridan gave everything as well to get them over the line, crucially in the first period of extra time. It's ended in victory for Cavan, and I do say eventually after extra time. Well done to Cavan, 2-11 to 4 points. From us all in Clonus, it's goodbye.